Okay, YouTube, let's take a look at this Ridgid R4512 and the adjustment on the riving knife. Now, I've had this saw for a number of years, and I have struggled for a long time trying to get the riving knife to come into alignment with the saw blade. If you're like me, you had struggles with the adjustment here on the riving knife, trying to lock it down, and I actually had that cam break and called Ridgid, and they sent me the whole new assembly to replace not just this portion but a new riving knife as well. So if you've been in that same situation and had to replace this, you'll know the struggles of trying to get this riving knife in line with the blade. There's been times where I've tried to use this saw with the blade not lined up correctly, and the saw bogs down. It's not safe to use. I have to remove the knife, etc. And it's just not a safe way to operate your machine. So I put some thought into this, and I found this solution to work pretty well for me. What I've done is taken a square here and just attached it to the saw to give me a reference against the side of the blade. As you can see, I have the square set here between the gullet of the saw blade, so the fence or the square is not riding against the carbide, it's riding along the side of the saw blade itself. This gives us a reference to set the riving knife against. Now, with this knife, there are 4 set screws that hold this in place. You can kind of see those there. There's 2 large ones and 2 small ones. When I first saw this, I assumed that all 4 of those were there to lock down the blade, the riving knife, but I was incorrect. These 2 larger screws are here to control the direction of the blade this way. These 2 smaller screws here are here to adjust the blade this direction, back and forth against the saw blade. Those are smaller set screws. So what you can do is loosen these screws, bring it into alignment with this reference to get it square against that, so you'll then be in position behind the blade. And one thing you have to be careful with as you start to tighten these down, you have to only turn them maybe a quarter of a turn at a time and move from one to the next, back to the other, slowly until you tighten them down. If you put too much torque on them, it will twist the blade and you'll have to start over. But once you get those tight to a certain extent, you can take these screws and adjust them, these small set screws, and you'll see the blade move back and forth depending on if you tighten it or loosen it. And that will give you the perfect position to get your blade perfectly aligned, as you can see mine is here. So I hope this helps you. It's really important to have the blade adjusted, set to be in alignment with the miter slot before you start this, so that when you are operating the saw, you have a perfectly aligned cutting surface that will give you the best results. Before I did this, I was having burning. This is one of my current projects here, and you can see the burning that I had from this oak, and I have saw marks in it. I was having all kinds of problems related to that, but now I can cut that same oak stock, and it's clean, no burns, no problems at all. So I hope this helps you, and please comment or subscribe if you're interested. Thank you. Bye-bye.